Today I'm going to show you how to create a Jamboard for syllabication. What you see right now in front of you is a Jamboard that I have been using with my intervention students. So you will see the word that they're going to syllabicate. You will see the consonant, vowel, bridges, open and closed syllable. I'm going to click the arrow here. That's my home base. If I click right on the 16/20, you will see all of my slides. You will see the slide that the students have already done. They grab and they drag it over. And you will also notice that at the end of this is what I call a clean copy. So depending on where we are, I will say, Sue, please read these words all the way down to the red line, or read them to this line, which stays. Here is your laser, here is your pen. So to make your Jamboard, what I do is I have a Google Doc, and I call it my screenshot doc. And this is where I have created some of the syllable types, just because it is really hard to locate these online. Here is my Jamboard that I'm going to be making. And in the way that we make a Jamboard is if you go into your email and you click here, and if you scroll all the way down, you will click on Jamboard. And this will be the plus sign. So that is how you access to create a Jamboard. So when I want to add to this Jamboard right now, you will notice that some of the pieces are already on. But if I decided to use my Google Doc, I would take this object here, the open door, and I would Apple copy it. I do have a Mac. And then I would go over here and I put Apple V to paste it. This is one way to put objects onto your Jamboard. If I wanted to add some words, I could do the same, or I could make one. So a lot of times I take a text box and I get the shape I want. I add a color, I outline it, and then I place it right in the box. It is important to note, though, that when you make one, if I were to Apple copy that and put this over, it will not transfer. The only way I can get that to transfer is if I screenshot it. This has been screenshot. So if I Apple copy it and plug it in, it will work. So the screenshot document that I have are all screenshots. So first I created it and then I made a screenshot, and that's what helps them move. Now that I'm on my Jamboard, there are some other things that I could do, or some other options rather. Here is add an image. So if I click add an image, and you will see already up here is smile cartoon transparent. It's really important to use the word transparent. So if I click on my smiley, hit insert, which we don't need for syllabication, but just to show you how this works, I could add this on. If I want to do some labeling, the sticky notes are a neat option. If I click sticky note, and I am going to type in label this word, save it, and get out, and you can see I have this great little sticky note. You can enlarge it or decrease it. I'm going to place that right up there. And I realize that I need my syllable division, so I'm going back over to my screenshot doc. That's quite a rhyme. And I'm going to paste that in right here so that the students know what syllable division patterns that we are using. I also need a bridge, and I could pull it from my screenshot doc, but I also want to show you how to access it from, let's say you have it right on your desktop. If I click Add Image, Upload, Browse, and I have my bridge right here on my desktop, click Open, you will see here is my bridge that I can shrink down until we need it. So now that we have the components that we are going to use for this syllabication, I want to show you that I need to add the word. So adding a text box, and I'm going to drag it across. And title, I usually use that size right there. Display's usually too large. And I'm going to type in the word, and I have my caps on, impressing. And I'm going to put spaces between. And what I realize is that typically that's not enough. So usually if I double click in between, it gives me a period for some reason. I'm not sure if that is a malfunction of the Jamboard or if I'm just not quite using it. So using it correctly. So if I drag, I can make this as large as I want. And you can see I have a pretty decent size. I am going to shrink it down and put it right in the middle. So now my first slide is already done. And now what I can do is click up top, and you can see I have one, and I can click duplicate. And then on my duplicate slide, I can all I have to do is change my word. So I could change this word to crediting, for example. But I'm going to just keep it as impressing. And I will change this one to crediting, simply because I want to make sure I use all my symbols here for this example. So how do you do this with students? Well, there are two options. You can go right onto Google Classroom and share it that way. You can also go up here and copy this and go into email. And what I do is, here is my email. Good morning. Please click on this link and then on the word make copy. And you will see my link here. And all I have to do is take viewer and type in copy and hit send, which is it's a great shortcut for Google Drive. And then students will see this picture and they just click on here, make a copy. So what does this look like when students are using this? Well, sometimes remotely, I can't always have students use the Jamboard because it's new, but they all can usually access it this way by clicking on the pen and going ahead and doing the labeling this way. So that is one way to do it. If you get desperate and you can't get it to work, which I've had that happen. Here's my eraser, so I can erase it. But what I'm finding, the more I use Jamboard, the kids are loving this. And it is multi-sensory because they can slide and enlarge. So I click on my arrow, and what I've been teaching the students is just duplicate. So that I can just keep the top part. So here I'm going to have them go through and add the vowels. And then I might say, oh, is there anything that we need to do? Oh, we need to check the ending, Mrs. Paget, to make sure we don't have a suffix. Okay, well, we see a suffix here. How am I going to make a circle? Well, this little gadget right here, you can click your shape and draw it right around like that. Uh-oh, but never fear. All you have to do is click, I believe, up here and click transparent. And I'll get rid of that one. And here is my circle. Now let's go back and we add our vowels. What do? We make our bridge. So I'm going to drag that bridge. And then the next step is, oh, we need to scoop. And we need to mark our consonants on our bridge. I can duplicate. And then here is the division. So I duplicate that. And really, you just keep going. And then what type of syllable? And really, I'm finding that the students are catching on to this really well, and they're enjoying it. So, of course, at the end, how do you say the first syllable? Im, second syllable, press. And, oh, are we done? No, we need to add our suffix, which we should have done when we circled it, by the way. Actually, I believe you're supposed to do it at the end. So you do the bottom first, just like you read left to right, and then you go through to the top. So then read it. And that is pretty much it with Jamboard. So this is one example of how you can do syllabication. This is key right here. I think it's just to keep these all available. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to make a root tree that you might find really helpful for the structures program. Thank you. See you soon.